It's just gone 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 23 degrees. And the agenda for today is riding west to, I think it's called Porto del Torres, I think, and catching my ferry over to Corsica. The ferry is only an hour to go across. I've got plenty of time. I don't have to be there till 11. And that's today. And thinking of what to do when I get into Corsica. Well, I found that there's a campsite actually in Bonifacio, which is where the ferry comes in, and it seems that they've got a big castle there in the town, so I might camp for 2 nights there, because initially I was going to go northwest and go to a place called Ajaccio. So but what I think I'll do is I'll stay in Bonifacio, because it's supposed to be a nice old town there. So I'll do 2 nights, so I can spend tomorrow doing touristy things, and then the day after I'll 2 days time I'll ride northwest to Ajaccio. I want to go to Ajaccio because there's a museum there for Napoleon Bonaparte that I want to see. I think much of the town is a town really, but I do know just on the outskirts is a Bonaparte museum which I want to go and see. So there we go. After Ajaccio, I don't know, I may go up the west coast, I may go across and then go up the east coast, I may go up, I don't know, one step at a time, as they say. Right, now if you ever come to Italy, there, I mean, some of you obviously will want to stay in hotels and things like that, but for those people who live on a budget, MD, they're all through Italy. You've got Lidl's and Aldi's, and there's another kind of supermarket called Eurospin. I kept seeing signs for Eurospin, but there we go, that's out of the way now. Yeah, if you're coming over to Italy camping, which means you've got to find local food, you've got MDs, which are quite good. I would say they're pretty, like a smaller version of Asda really. Anyway, there's them. There's also Eurospin. When I first got, I kept seeing signposts for Eurospin, and I thought it was like for a lottery. And then I saw, and then I stopped at one day, and I found out it was a supermarket. It's a bit like another version of Lidl or Aldi really, because you've got all the normal stuff, and then they sell all the stuff on the separate aisles, you know, like buy an oxyacetylene welding kit or a pair of flip-flops, things like that. So yeah, that's Eurospin, and of course you've got Aldi and you've got Lidl's as well. But yeah, right, I'm going to do some mileage now. I've got plenty of time. I've got 3/4 of an hour to get to Porto del Torres, but I know it's only going to take me about 20 minutes, so there we go. Right, another wonderful day in Sardinia. Will I come back? Definitely, definitely. It's the sort of place you want to when you want a bit of peace and quiet, although that site was really good. Now, I went out yesterday, there was a castle nearby and I did a guided tour of the castle, blah blah blah, and when I came back it was full of camper vans. And the only thing with a lot of the European campsites, they sort of mix you all in together, really. Where, I don't know, I've been to some campsites where they separate you, which is great, because when you're just with tents, everyone kind of keeps quiet. But my God, camper vans, last night, doors opening and closing on those sliding rails every 30 seconds, boom, 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 boom. And then there was someone, and then everyone seems to shout and talk at the top of the voice. Now, I didn't want to get up till about 8 this morning. God, 6:30 this morning, there was whoop, boom, whoop, boom. There were sliding doors opening and closing. And not far away was the point where you empty all your grey water and your sewage. And they were all queued up there with the engines running. Oh my God, I was really fed up this morning. I just wanted to get away. I don't know what it is about people in camper vans. It seems like they just live in a bubble and they don't think that their actions will impact anybody else. You know, you lay in bed, it's 10 o'clock at night, and doors, no one seems capable of being able to close the door. They have to slam the doors. But I was pulling my hair out last night, which was a nightmare because I've got no hair. But if I would have had a machine gun last night, I would have done some serious damage. I was sort of getting really fed up with the camper vans. And then this morning, next to us, we got a camper van, and the dog starts barking. Oh my God. But there we go, that's my grumble for the day over with, camper vans. If I get a camper van one day, I will make sure that I close the door nice and quietly, because I realise that there are other people out there in tents who are trying to sleep or trying to have a lie in. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to get there past these cars, this car and this van in a minute. And I think we've got, then we've got a straight bit coming up. And then I'm going to catch my ferry. So that's my grumble for the day over. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. When you ride round Sardinia, you pass a lot of places you think are actually villages, but what they actually are tourist resorts. And when I was down in southern Sardinia, there was a lot of graffiti saying tourists out, tourists go home, basta, no more tourists. And I think that's because there's a lot of real estate and resources taken up by tourist resorts. I mean, genuinely, a couple of times I was going through villages and I'm thinking, oh, this is a pretty little village, and then you see a signpost saying resort, and that's it. And I would imagine in the summer months the resort is very busy like this, and then in winter like now everything's closed up and empty. And that doesn't contribute much to the local economy, does it? But there they got some modern tourism for you, isn't it? Look at this whole place. It's out of season now, so the whole place is empty. And then you'll see places like that empty. And yet you'll get local people who are looking for places to live. Anyway, the place I'm heading to, it's not called Porto del Torres, it's called Santa Teresa del Gloria. Yeah, bit of a mouthful. Santa Teresa de Gallora, that's it. Santa Teresa Gallora. I can't get my tongue around that. That's I'll just call it Santa Teresa. So this is my last bit of Sardinia. This is what most of Sardinia is like, really. It's just very rural, lots of trees and bushes, and then when you go in the centre bit there's lots of mountains, but it is pretty. It really, it's beautiful in its own way. It's beautiful in its own way, and some of the coastline is absolutely stunning, But if you want bright lights, music, rock and roll, and 2 for 1, then Sardinia is not for you, because it's chilled out, it's quiet, it's just laid back. Everything's nice, people are nice, and that's it. Gosh, I'm enjoying this ride. Lots of bendy bits this morning. I don't know what the roads will be like in Corsica. I believe we've got some nice roads, but we'll see. Right, catch you in a bit. I was going to stay at that campsite. Usually what you find in a lot of campsites is they're not open in the afternoons, you just got to hang around waiting for the reception to open. So I didn't mind waiting, but I had a wander around the campsite, and it's a bit like a refugee camp really, with all the camper vans, and I would have had to sort of pitch on a little bit, but there was some odd bits of gravel. I'm not sleeping on gravel, so I did a quick Google and I found another campsite just down the road. There's about 7 or 8 campsites around the area. Just looking at the different campsites, some of them are actually closed for summer. But so anyway, I looked at this one. It's about 4 kilometres outside the town. I don't mind. It's quite a big site, and it looks like it's going to be about 13-14 euros a night, which I don't mind. As you go further inland, there's not that many campsites. Anyway, but I want to stay here so I can go into the town tomorrow and have a look at the fort and do some touristy things. It looks like there's lots of places to eat. Now the terrain here is very much like Sardinia. I suppose when they were both created from the volcanic masses, I suppose they're related really. And I know that Corsica is like this for a lot of it, but as you go to the centre bit, there's some mountains as well, very much like Sardinia, except it's a lot smaller. It's about half the size of Sardinia, and they speak French. Parlez-vous français? So my campsite is just up here. Now hopefully it's not closed to the winter. We will see. Oh, here we go.